I'm Kamali, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world. On Newsfeed today, a look at how gangsters say they're helping out in the pandemic. Authorities say they should just quit doing crime. Calls to ban the global trade in wildlife get louder. Animals taking back the streets all over the world. We have a selection of some of the best clips. And some funny video of a cat helping a puppy who got in over its head. And top of our newsfeed, breaking bad or breaking good. Drug lords in Mexico were handing out food to the poor. They're one of many international crime gangs who were sharing the love during the pandemic and showing it off on social media. But the president of Mexico has a suggestion speaking for all of us when he says, how about you stop breaking the law instead? Faisal has the story.
These people may look like good Samaritans, but they are from El Chapo 701, named after infamous drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. His Sinaloa cartel is one of several handing out aid packages to help cash-strapped Mexicans during the coronavirus pandemic.
A box of provisions has 13 basic products which we understand elderly people could need. Soup, oil, all those things we understand aren't hard to cook and could be useful.
But Mexico's president has had enough. He's told the cartels to end violence instead of distributing food. Organized crime syndicates in Mexico aren't the only ones putting their best foot forward. Last week, South Africans demanding state food parcels clashed with police in Cape Town. Now, rival gangs in the city's low-income neighborhoods have declared a truce and are helping to distribute aid. In Italy, the Mafia is reportedly donating food to poor families in quarantine who have run out of cash. Even in the favelas of Rio de Janeiro, which are notorious for violent crime, gangsters have imposed a curfew. So is this a case of breaking bad turning good, or are crime lords simply exploiting growing desperation?
Okay, here are some other COVID-19 related stories that you may have missed. Hydroxychloroquine is a drug used to treat malaria. It's been touted by President Donald Trump, Jair Bolsonaro, and other anti-science politicians as a treatment for COVID-19. The latest research suggests otherwise. A study published by the New England Journal of Medicine says the drug has zero impact on COVID-19 and may actually be harmful if taken when not properly prescribed.
Louisiana. Davina Atad, Detroit, Michigan. John Abruzzo, Long Island, New York.
Well, these are nurses demonstrating outside the White House, reading out the names of those who have died, caring for those with COVID-19. They're calling on the US government to direct companies to produce more personal protective equipment, or PPE. The Trump administration has refused to use the power of government to force manufacturers to make PPE. Instead, Trump has been calling on states to reverse lockdown measures so the economy can start up fully again. Facebook will expand its Messenger Kids app to 70 countries. The app allows parents to monitor who their children are making friends with. It also allows parents to approve adults as being friends with their kids. This is apparently designed with teachers in mind. Netflix has signed up nearly 16 million new subscribers in the space of just 3 months, thanks to lockdown and stay-at-home measures. The streaming giant is now more valuable than ExxonMobil. The head of the International Air Transport Association says the days of low-cost travel are over if airlines are forced to begin implementing social distancing rules on board. Airlines made vast amounts of cash by piling people onto flights with ever-diminishing seat size. The association says companies will have to raise prices by 50% or go bust. Well, it's the 50th Earth Day and climate activists are calling on people to keep the movement going online. Since the lockdown began, people have been posting pictures of themselves and holding virtual meetups. The irony is, the energy used to power the servers and computers which allow these virtual meetups to happen often comes from fossil fuels. And the climate activist Greta Thunberg's Friday for Future released a new video to remind us that our house is on fire.
Wake up, honey. Do you have a test? Tomorrow, yeah. Tomorrow.
I've got to stay at the office till about 6:30 tonight.
No, they'll swim for us. Thanks, Mom.
Lunch is there.
Love you.
Bye, sweetheart. Have a good day.
Correct. A Twitter hashtag is helping to push calls around the world for a demand to end the global trade in wildlife. Adama has the details.
Campaigners are calling for an end to the global wildlife trade. Hashtag End the Trade is trending online, but it's not exactly a new movement. Harrowing videos and pictures of the effects of the trade have been shared and reshared for years, including this baby rhino trying to wake up its dead mother killed for her horn. What's new is the coronavirus pandemic. This video from Global Conservation Wildlife shows how the exploitation of animal species may have led to COVID-19.
The opportunity to jump to a species as abundant as you. Most viruses only get to know their original host animal. Many exist entirely in the humid understory of a remote rainforest. We viruses are kept in check by healthy environments with diverse and abundant wildlife.
It's important to know what activists are up against as they try to end the illegal buying and selling of wildlife. First of all, the trade is big business. The UN Environment Programme estimates it's worth $7 to $23 billion a year. That makes it one of the most lucrative illegal businesses in the world, particularly in parts of Asia, East and Southern Africa, Mexico, and the Caribbean. A 2016 study into EU trade policy says valuing wildlife trade is problematic because it's difficult to separate out legal and illegal trades. The illegal side of the business is often run by sophisticated and well-organized criminal rings and feeds into other environmental crises, such as mass-scale poaching. Often, poachers are locals affected by poverty, droughts, conflict, and political instability. Recent reports say that since China's coronavirus lockdowns closed markets, the trade has gone online. Experts fear that a complete ban could drive the trade underground. China's preparing to ban the consumption of wildlife within months. It's also under pressure to shut down all wet markets for good after one in the city of Wuhan is suspected to be the source of COVID-19. There are calls from within the EU to produce an updated list of species being sold illegally. It's hoped China will do the same. Stamping out the trade won't be easy, but campaigners hope the pandemic will wake the world up to how destructive and deadly it can be.
Now, you may have spotted on your social media people taking part in the Getty Museum Challenge. The task is to recreate famous artworks in your own home and then post the pictures. Well, one guy who's been doing just that is Peter Brathwaite. He's a singer and actor, and he's been making his art recreations with a specific focus on black portraiture. I spoke to him earlier.
Hi, Peter. So why did you decide to showcase black historical portraiture?
So the museum challenge that the Getty Museum started on Twitter was something to get people creating at a time where they can't visit museums. So I decided to do one of these, and from there it moved on to what it's become now.
Peter, why is it so important that you show people from history in this way?
I realised that I don't often see many portraits with black people in, and I'm sure that others feel the same about that as well. So I decided to start Googling and looking at images and looking specifically for paintings that have black sitters, whether that's as servants or noblemen, and just trying to explore these portraits and see whether I could bring them to a wider audience. Of course, there's a misconception that Black history, especially in the UK, started with the Windrush era, and these portraits show that there are Black Tudors and Black sitters during the Renaissance period, and that's really exciting to see. And it's an education for me, as it is for the people that are viewing the images on Twitter. And even when the portraits portray slaves, it's giving them agency and giving them power. So that's the idea behind putting some of my own heritage into the portraits and giving these characters more status than they had originally.
What's been the reaction to this project on social media?
I hoped that people would be seeing things for the first time, and that's what's happened, really. People are commenting on the breadth of the work that they're seeing and really keying into the artists and trying to find out more about the individual pieces of work.
And Peter, where does this project go from here?
I've been developing projects with rediscovered music over the past few years, and this really goes hand in hand with that. I'm looking into recovering slave songs that have been forgotten or lost, and this rediscovery of artworks with Black subjects is something that really goes hand in hand with the musical work that I've been doing as well.
Doch das Messer sieht man nicht an dem schönen blauen Sonntag.
All right, we'll keep spinning around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Wednesday. Well, Coca-Cola and Pepsi are said to not be doing enough to reduce their plastic waste. The companies and others like them generate hundreds of thousands of tons of waste each year. The plastic which they produce is often burnt, creating 4.6 million tons of carbon dioxide. Lebanon has passed a law to legalize cannabis for medicinal and industrial purposes. It's being suggested as potentially very beneficial to the government of the country. It's said to be able to generate $1 billion a year for the state. Lebanon is one of the world's top 5 cannabis producers on earth. Now, with people not on the streets, animals are taking back the cities. Kind of. Okay, not really, but on social media in the past few weeks, there have been some entertaining videos of animals in places you wouldn't necessarily expect them to be, including a cow on a roof. Really? Watch this. How did that cow get up there? I'm baffled. And last up, sticking with the animals making us laugh theme, take a look at this video of a puppy getting in way over its head. Now, so much for social distancing. It seems this dog is overkeen to spend time with its cat pal, but the little thing misjudges the task ahead and gets stuck. The cat then seems to help out, or, as our editor Louis thinks, hinder the puppy's progress. He does make it to the other side, and there you go, 30 seconds when you weren't thinking about a global pandemic killing more than 150,000 people, for which there is no cure. You're welcome. And that will do from the Newsview team. Reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints, and suggestions. You'll find me at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on YouTube. Subscribe to that channel. Follow me on Twitter. Stay at home. Wash your hands. See you tomorrow.